that run. If he's the other side, maybe you can get to that ball first. Stops, comes in, great finish, and you see Eze there, head in his hands, he knows a mistake, hence why he was brought off at half-time. Again, I go back to the centre-backs. Now, we can't get the full clip in because it's so long, the distance. This is not Emi Martinez with the ball on the edge of the box. This is a goal kick, I can assure you. So look at the distance from Emi Martinez when that ball's kicked to where that line is here. So Nkappi is actually deeper again than the rest of the back four. 78 yards from that 6-yard box to do that. There's no way Gabriel and Saliba would be that deep. I think they'd be 10, 15 yards higher. It may be a bit of tiredness as well, especially when you see his reaction to the second ball. So the ball comes in. It's actually Ben White who goes to head it. That's where the centre-back should be. Oxham now, he's got a cover. And when you talk about tiredness, your touch goes, look, poor touch, another poor touch under his feet, then knocks it out to play. Listen, he's a good player, we know that, but 3 games in a week as well. But the quality from Villa, the quick throwing as well, James.
Yeah, you're looking at the defensive aspect. I'm more looking at the little small moments of quality within it. Jaden's feet initially, I know it gets cleared, but even just Yuri's composure there, Yuri Tielemans, who again, you talk about tired players, this is at right at the depth of the game, and a player who doesn't ever miss a minute for Villa. Just that little moment of quality in there. It obviously becomes a little bit scrappy when it goes into the box, but really happy for Emi Buendia as well, a lad who was at Norwich and has also had a big knee injury, so to see him put the winner away in a second was, yeah, it was good to see.
I mean, the big thing for me late in this game, there's 2 things actually. Villa getting the goal, 7 players in the box. I think, what was it, 94, 95 they got the goal? I'm not sure exactly when it was. But that's really going for it. Almost leaving themselves a little bit vulnerable behind. But this as well, the reaction from the Arsenal players. Yes, it hurts to concede a last-minute goal, but it almost reminded me. Do you remember Sami Cafu in the 1999 Champions League final against Man United? Lost the Champions League final, punching the ground. Yes, it's a big blow, but it almost feels like some of the Arsenal players feel like they've lost the cup final. That almost feels like that reaction, not a Premier League game. Of course it was a huge blow, but I think for Arsenal, and I said this before the game, it was always going to be difficult here today. Don't get, on Saturday, don't get carried away. You lost the game against a very good team, who were brilliant at home as well. You lost in the last minute without your 2 centre-backs. It's not that big a deal. But the reaction there, I thought, was telling about how much they felt they'd lost there in terms of losing that point.
Arsenal still in front, 2 points ahead of Manchester City, 3 ahead now of Aston Villa on that brilliant run. James, Spurs, they're in 10th place. Liverpool in 9th, and in 16th place, Leeds United, who managed to pick up another point in what's been a really good week for Daniel Farke and for the team with that 3-3 draw against Liverpool. Special result, and as I say, Jamie, it's been a big week for Leeds United, which it felt like the tide was turning a little bit against Daniel Farke. Until this, at Manchester City last week.
Yeah, we talk about teams getting results and how much maybe is down to the manager. I think the upturn in form is a lot down to the manager. So, second half at Manchester City, he changes the system, goes to 3-5-2, he brings a centre-forward and a centre-back on and takes off his 2 wingers, hence going to that system. And that feels like that was a huge difference second half here, and then they took that confidence on. So, as soon as the ball comes here to the wing-back now, his first look actually is Calvert-Lewin, actually finds himself offside, but it's 2 men up against 2 centre-backs, making it awkward. And it's a little bit more direct. We know Leeds were the Championship, out of the 3 teams that came up, you'd expect to maybe play a little bit more football. That was the style in the Championship, but it's certainly changed in the second half here.
And Daniel Farke, James, I'm guessing you know pretty well, don't you?
Yeah, he was my gaffer at Norwich, which I actually worked out earlier. It's almost 10 years ago, which makes me feel pretty old. But and
did he like to tweak formations then as well?
Yeah, he was very tactically flexible. He was, he liked having the tactics board out and changing it up. I remember very specifically him asking different roles of me within that time. So I know he's definitely always thinking about the tactical side of it. So to see him changing system and getting success from it doesn't surprise me at all.
But when you go to a 3 at the back system, what that does give you, it should improve you at set pieces. 3 big centre-backs, and especially one of the front 2 is Calvert-Lewin, who you bring off the bench. And then, early on in the game, against Chelsea, next game, the man who comes on, substitutes at half-time, Biol, gets a goal from a set piece. And they're in business, aren't they, straight away. Ellen Rhodes bouncing. You see Biol there in that position with Delap. And as I said, it should give you a greater threat from set pieces. And maybe Leeds fans, I think, were calling for this a little bit more, maybe to be a little bit more direct over these sort of last few weeks when you consider how many 6-foot players they brought in the summer.
So they went to 3-5-2 from the start against Chelsea. It was successful, and that was the same plan against Liverpool, but it didn't feel like it was working, certainly on Saturday evening when Liverpool were 2 goals in front. Then this triple change. Nonto, Brendan Aronson and Ao Tanaka into the game, Jamie, and you see the impact that they've made. One of them won a penalty.
No chance Man United legend Paul Scholes makes worrying Arsenal title claim. Paul Scholes has warned Arsenal they have no chance of winning the Premier League until they start turning up in big games. The Gunners still have a 2-point cushion at the top of the Premier League despite a deflating 2-1 defeat to Aston Villa at the weekend. Leandro Trossard's second-half goal cancelled out Matty Cash's first-half opener and looks set to earn Mikel Arteta's side a point at Villa Park. But Emiliano Buendia scored with virtually the last kick of the game to inflict just a second defeat on Arsenal this season and send third-placed Aston Villa into title contention. Manchester City, who looked to be Arsenal's biggest rival for the title, thumped Sunderland 3-0 a few hours later to cap off a disappointing afternoon for the current leaders. Arsenal remained favourites to win the title, according to the bookmakers at least, but Scholes says Arteta's side needs to start winning the big games if they are going to end the club's 22-year wait for a Premier League trophy. Man City have a great chance now, don't they? Scholes, an 11-time Premier League winner with Manchester United, said on The Good, the Bad, and the Football podcast. I still don't think they're quite right, but they always get better in the second half of the season, and the thing with Arsenal is they can't win a big game. Until they start winning big games, they've got no chance of winning the league. They lost to Liverpool, they couldn't beat Man City at home when they were struggling. Aston Villa are a good team, don't get me wrong, but Arsenal just can't win big games. They couldn't beat Chelsea after they went down to 10 men. If you're going to win the league, you've got to start winning some big games. You've got to beat your rivals, and they can't do it. Historically, Man City always get better after January. They were in the Club World Cup, so they didn't really have a preseason. Scholes' former Manchester United teammate Nicky Butt, meanwhile, has backed Manchester City to reel Arsenal in and win yet another title. I did say I fancied Man City for the title about a month ago. They're suddenly clicking. The reason I think Man City will win the league is Pep. He's got the experience. I can see him winning the league this year and then leaving. Arsenal will fully expect to return to winning ways in the Premier League on Saturday when bottom-placed Wolves visit the Emirates Stadium. Man City face a potentially tricky trip to Crystal Palace, the team that beat them in last season's FA Cup final, while Aston Villa visit West Ham. How many points Arsenal, Chelsea, and Spurs need to claim top 8 Champions League spot? According to Opta, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Tottenham Hotspur are all back in Champions League action this week. Arsenal face an away trip to Belgium on Wednesday to play Club Brugge. They will be looking to bounce back from their Premier League defeat against Aston Villa over the weekend. The Gunners are top of the Champions League table after 5 games and have won every match so far. Chelsea head to Italy on Tuesday evening to lock horns with Atalanta. Meanwhile, Tottenham Hotspur face Slavia Prague at home. Here is a look at how many points the London trio need to get into the top 8. Based on last season's final Champions League table, Arsenal only need 1 more point to get into the top 8. Chelsea needs 6 more points, so 2 more wins. Meanwhile, Spurs require 8 more points if they are to get in. This season's Champions League top 15 places predicted by Opta. As per Opta data via The Analyst, here's a look at the top 15 places predicted in the Champions League table. Arsenal are being predicted to finish first on 22 points, above Bayern Munich and PSG after their impressive European campaign to date. Arsenal's Mikel Arteta is also hoping to win the Premier League title. They are 2 points above Man City in the league and 3 ahead of Aston Villa. As for Chelsea, they are back to end on 15 points, in 7th position ahead of Borussia Dortmund on goal difference. Tottenham Hotspur are being tipped to accumulate 13 points along with Newcastle United and thus finish outside the top 8, which would be a blow for Thomas Frank's side. They will get a knockout playoff at least, if the prediction comes true. Frank was appointed at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium over the summer and was appointed to replace Ange Postecoglou. The London outfit got into the Champions League after they beat Manchester United in the Europa League final in Sevilla. It has been an inconsistent start for this term, though, both domestically and in Europe, and they need to find more consistency.